Ukraine devastated, as Russia benefits greatly in the USA-Iran conflict. It's day 1480 of Russia's operation in Ukraine. Let's dive deeper. Conflict between the USA and Iran means the situation will get much worse for Ukraine, and it seems like it has already started. As you know, for the past several months, because of bad weather, Russian forces were not able to perform the offensive action with full intensity. This meant Ukraine got valuable time to prepare their defenses for future Russian offensive. But instead, they chose to go on the offensive in bad weather. They concentrated their remaining best brigades on Heliopol bridgehead and launched a counter-offensive from two major axes. Their objective was to recapture lost areas of Dnipro and Zaporizhzhia Oblast. And given that they were attacking with armored vehicles, they were hoping for a quick penetration, like we saw in Kursk Oblast. However, given that Russian forces already have significant forces on this front, meant Ukrainian forces were not successful as they hoped. But they did manage to recapture a significant area at the northern flank, as Russian forces had to withdraw because of the geographical nature of the front. But many Russian sources claim Ukrainian forces have suffered high losses in these counterattacks. Furthermore, since last week, it seems like Russian forces are resuming their offensive activity. They were seen capturing Maryinka and Kherson. This suggests Russian forces could soon resume their offensive action on this front. Now, much more important, and one of the biggest battles is further up north, the Battle of Slavyansk and Kramatorsk. Even though Russian forces seem further away, sources expect Russian forces to launch a major offensive from several directions. And Ukrainian forces are also expecting this to be the case, as they have started installing anti-drones nets within the city and on the main supply roads. But many Ukrainian sources are already panicking and having a meltdown. The reason is the conflict between the USA and Iran. As you are well aware, the way things have been going on, and how Iran has decided to fight this conflict means USA's air defenses are spread thin. Iran has been targeting US bases and assets, while also inflicting damage on oil and gas production facilities across 7 countries. This means it is practically impossible to cover every target. In order to cover as much as possible, the US had to transfer all their air defenses from South Korea to protect the key assets. And if the conflict extends, there is a real chance that Ukraine might not receive any new air defense systems or its missiles. And President Zelensky had already admitted that this could be the case, as they are only seeking air defense missiles from their Western partners. This means if Russia decides, they could exhaust the remaining Ukrainian stockpile very quickly. On top of that, because of the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, and Iran's strikes on oil and gas facilities in Gulf countries, means the world is already experiencing shortages. And if decisions are not made quickly, every single person in the world could be affected. This means President Trump had to lift sanctions on Russian oil for 30 days to ease the situation. This means Russia will benefit greatly and will strengthen their positions even more. And this is the reason many Ukrainian sources have gone into meltdown, as they say Trump is helping Russia. And if the USA decides to carry out a ground invasion on Iran, more supplies to Ukraine could be cut. And this means a big catastrophe for Ukraine. But right now a much bigger threat for the world is blockade of oil and gas. In order to ease the situation, the USA has already taken several steps, like releasing the reserves, and suggested slacking the interest rates. However, markets around the world are now understanding the gravity of the situation, as they are all red. And as the new Iranian leader said they refuse to back off, this conflict will likely go on for much longer. Subscribe for more frontline updates. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.